It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories. From fireworks to cookouts, it's time to bring on the red, white, and blue.
Millions hitting the roads and skies for July 4th weekend.
It's a little overwhelming, but yeah, it's good.
A lot of people.
We're getting you prepared for a mad dash to celebrate America's birthday.
Hot weather expected this weekend, but I am tracking storms that could put a damper on your holiday.
The future of the Park Hill Golf Course is coming together.
We can have both a 100-acre park and affordable housing and a grocery store and, so many other things that our community needs.
But some community members say the effort to save green spaces is just more redlining.
We need places where our kids can play football. We need places where we can shop.
While Americans celebrate Independence Day, Ukrainians continue their fight for freedom.
That war is not finished. People are still dying every day.
One Ukrainian man living in Colorado is seeking support, and his neighbors stepped up more than he could have imagined.
We thought that this is minimum that Ukrainian people can show American how they appreciate it for all this help. Thank you, Denver.
All right, everybody, it is a hectic holiday weekend for travelers. AAA is anticipating 800,000 Coloradans will venture 50 miles or more over July 4th weekend.
And DIA expects 1.2 million passengers to come through the airport between now and Tuesday. More than 300 flights have been delayed today, so whether you're driving or flying this weekend, make sure to bring your patience with you. Good evening and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter.
I'm Danny New, and it's not just traffic getting in the way of you and your plans. Also got some storms we're keeping an eye on.
Let's get right to meteorologist Stacy Donaldson. So Stacy, how is our holiday forecast looking?
It's not looking too bad. Very typical for this time of year, but the radar over the next couple of days will look very similar to what we're seeing outside right now. We've seen pop-up thunderstorms in the heat of the day. Not much happening here right around Denver. One storm cell right near the airport developed in the last 45 minutes. Is pushing to the southeast, so we're still looking good for Coors Field for the fireworks show after the Rockies game that's currently in play. As you see, we have scattered showers off to our northwest, and tomorrow we'll have highs in the upper 80s, low 90s. Another hot day for us here for our area, but as we go through our 4th of July weekend, we'll have upper 80s, low 90s here for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I do think dry weather will show up for Monday with highs near 90 degrees and those partly cloudy skies.
Thank you, Stacy. Cities are preparing to get innovative with their 4th of July displays. More and more cities are opting for drone shows to prevent the wildfire risks that come with fireworks shows. Denver-based Hire UAV Pro is a drone show entertainment company, and this is just a peek of what their shows look like. Their CEO says they will be busy with shows in Gypsum, Castle Pines, and Parker. Parker's special event manager says they started this process after the Marshall Fire.
In January, I started looking at alternatives, brought it to our council and said, what do you want to do? And really the biggest thing for them was safety of our community.
It's going to be more of a ride and kind of different climactic moments. You're watching an animation play out in the sky at a scale that's a football field and a half wide by a football field tall.
Parker's event manager says this won't necessarily be the model moving forward. They will take a survey and reevaluate what celebrations look like in the years to come.
And there are several other firework festivities planned this weekend, including another show after the Rockies game tomorrow. Lafayette will also have fireworks tomorrow, and then Denver and Littleton on Sunday. Aurora's will be on Monday. And you can find a list of July 4th activities on the denverchannel.com for you. Our 155-acre parcel in northeast Denver has been the subject of years-long debate.
Some want the former Park Hill Golf Course to remain an open green space, but others have long advocated for its development, and this week that envisioning inched forward.
Here's Denver 7's CB Cotton with more.
The future of the Park Hill Golf Course is still uncertain, but for the past year and a half, the city of Denver has been gathering feedback from residents who live within 1 mile of the area. And a spokesperson for the city says the overwhelming majority of people they surveyed want to see some type of development for the area. So right now, the city is recommending that at least 100 acres of the land be kept as open green space and the rest of it be used as income-based affordable housing. They're also recommending a grocery store be built, and the city says they also want to provide legal and financial assistance for people of color to bring businesses on the land. This week, the city launched this online open house where residents can provide additional feedback on these ideas. The golf course sits in a historically black neighborhood, and some who are a part of the development vision feel this is a chance to invest in an area impacted by gentrification.
I think we're really excited with the possibility of creating win-wins. We can have both a 100-acre park and affordable housing and a grocery store and so many other things that our community needs. So, we're trying not to necessarily paint this as an either or. Everybody can truly win with the redevelopment of the former Park Hill Golf Course.
But of course, some people still strongly disagree. Save Open Space Denver, a grassroots community group, has been advocating for the area to remain an open green space. Today, in a statement to Denver 7, they called the city's process a, quote, sham. It's important to note before any development can happen on this property, first City Council would have to approve a final plan. That plan would then have to be shared with the community. And then the last step, Denver voters would have to vote for the conservation easement on the property to be lifted. And we're a ways out from all of these things. But we're going to have much more on the ins and outs of this complex topic and at times polarizing topic on Denver 7 News at 10. For Denver 7 News on Local 3, I'm CB Cotton.
CB, thank you. And development is moving forward on the former Loretto Heights campus in Denver. A portion of the campus will be turned into new housing and business space. To prepare for that development, though, the bodies of 62 nuns buried in a 123-year-old cemetery had to be exhumed and relocated. The Archdiocese of Denver shared this picture with us. Workers had to carefully exhume the bodies to have them relocated to their final resting place at Mount Olivet Catholic Cemetery in Wheat Ridge. The developer had hoped to keep the cemetery in place, but the Sisters of Loretto decided it would be best to close the cemetery and move elsewhere.
Well, at least 21 people were killed in a Russian missile attack on an apartment building near the city of Odessa in Ukraine, according to local authorities. This is just the latest Russian attack on civilians in the war-torn nation. Now the UN estimates more than 4,700 have been killed so far in the conflict.
For a man here in Colorado, these headlines are especially devastating. He has to watch from afar as his hometown is destroyed and members of his family flee for their lives. But he and his friends have jumped into action to help and have raised more than $100,000 already to get food, clothing, and medicine to the people of Ukraine.
Denver 7's Rob Harris shows us how Denver helps Kyiv.
So on this picture, we celebrating my niece's daughter.
Andriy Smogliakov is now especially thankful for pictures and the internet. He can't see his family in person right now, and he doesn't know when he'll be able to return to his home country. But these memories are some of the few things from Ukraine that Russian bombs can't touch.
We were thinking that they would never do this to us, to my country.
Andriy watched in horror in February of this year as Russia launched its attack on Ukraine, and he's been watching ever since. He and his family are from the Donetsk region of the country, one of the hardest hit in the war.
I couldn't even think that all this stuff could happen just in a second. That the whole country, where over 32 million people started getting all these bombs everywhere.
The Ukrainian people shocked the world early in the war as they held off Russian capture and fought for their independence. But as the war drags on, the situation has only gotten more dire. As of late June, the UN estimates 4,731 Ukrainian civilians have been killed in the war, with more than half coming from the Donetsk and Luhansk regions Andriy called home.
Ukrainian, such a strong nation, we will win this war. It's only one thing that we need to remember: how many deaths we will put to win this war.
But as Andriy has followed the headlines, he's turned his shock and despair into action.
Somehow one moment I just jumped from the sofa and I said, no, I need to stop reading this news and I need to start doing something.
That something was Denver Helps Kyiv, an online fundraiser with no grand ambitions to start, but it's grown into something incredible. Nearly $120,000 have already been donated and has bought food, clothes, medicine, and even cars delivered by Andriy's friends in Ukraine to people in need.
My friend in Ukraine, they really amazed how much money we were able to raise here in Denver. I was thinking how we can send a message to Americans that Ukrainian people appreciate them. And we come up with this idea that everybody who will get help from Denver, they will send a message saying, "Thank you, Denver." We have over 500 pictures taken everywhere.
With no end in sight for the conflict, there's no end in sight for Denver Helps Kyiv, nor for the thankful Ukrainians, sending back their pictures of appreciation.
Everybody needs to understand and remember that war is not finished.
For Denver 7, I'm Rob Harris.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Denver. If you'd like to learn more and pitch in the Denver Helps Kyiv Network, we have a link to their fundraiser on thedenverchannel.com for you.
Coming up, Colorado families thought they were getting the pools of their dreams.
Well, what we have is a huge hole where we're supposed to have a spa and pool.
But a contractor is leaving them high and dry, so they contacted Denver 7 for help.
They've just given up. They've ceased all communication.
The weather looks amazing up in the higher elevations for our Saturday afternoon with temperatures in the 60s and 70s around 10,000 feet. I'll let you know what we expect here for the Front Range all weekend.
2 diehard Avalanche fans say they had a good luck charm during Game 6, or 3 good luck charms.
They're our lucky little hat trick, I think.